I'd remind the presenters that we're hearing a lot of the same thing over and over. Please save time for others. The next person up is Lily Gregory, and then there's an Akeo Noah that says maybe. Does that maybe want to testify? I guess not. Followed by Jane Whitmire. Do you want to speak?
Chairman, I turn my time over to Leslie Muller.
All right. Welcome to the committee, Ms. Gregory.
Hi, my name is Lily Gregory, and thank you, Chairman and Representatives. I wake up, eat breakfast, brush my teeth, and get dressed just like every other student in the Boise School District. I go to school from class to class to class, getting a great education from teachers who choose to spend their time with us willingly, just like every other student. I do my homework and maintain my grades, just like every other student hopefully does in Boise. But why are other students' school and education worth so much more than mine? Why is my education worth $3,804 less, to be exact? Why is a student from North or East education worth $3,804 more than mine? At Sage, they push us to our limits and care for our education maybe even twice as much as some teachers do at other schools. For example, Mr. Keller, my principal, dedicated his time and his soul into creating this school that I'm happy to be a part of and happy to go to every day. I mean, if my education is worth $3,804 less than other students, then I couldn't imagine how it would feel to put so much effort into a whole school and it be worth $1.6 million more, it being worth $1.6 million less than all the other schools. But he sticks with me and all the other children that are a part of Sage, and he fights for our equal education. I'm pretty sure we all didn't get up at 6 in the morning to sit down and ask for a little bit of extra cash. We are standing up and saying that students like me who go to charter schools like Sage deserve to have an education that is worth the same amount as our peers at Boise High or any other schools in the district. I wasn't set up here. The enthusiasm of the children and teachers to learn and teach would move mountains. The dedication of our loving staff and even supporting parents can change lives. The brilliant, bright-eyed students of these terrific schools can change the future. But do you know what would really help more than you probably would realize? A gym, a bigger cafeteria, textbooks for every class, more working space for your future leaders. Do you know what would make a difference? The $1.6 million we deserve. The thing that would make a difference is to feel like my education is just as important. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gregory. Frank? And I believe there's a Gage with the same phone number. Is that?
There is, but he's not planning on speaking.
Okay, very good. If you'd give us your last name, please.
Koprivnikar. Frank Koprivnikar.
Can you spell it for the
Sure,
minutes?
it's Koprivnikar.
Very good. Thank you. Welcome to the committee.
Thank you. Chairman and members of the committee, thank you for this opportunity to take some time to share with you. I'm here as a father representing my children. I have a son that goes to Sage International. I have a daughter that goes to East, and I have another son that goes to Riverside. My point in being here today is a little different perspective to take from two of my kids, if you have to make up for the one that lacks. My kids are all in great schools. East is a fantastic school. Riverside's a great school. Sage is a great school. But my feeling is it's not fair, like at Christmas, to give two kids more than the one gets. I'm asking you, as you bring this charter equity board, or whatever it is you guys are looking at, bill, that you would please take the time to rectify the situation, even if it means that you have to take from two of my kids to give to one to make it even. In our household, we're big on fairness. We try to make it so everybody gets the same amount of Christmas gifts, try to make it so everybody gets the same kind of birthday presents. If the budget isn't there for Christmas, then they get less. Everybody gets less. One doesn't get more. So as a parent of 3 different kids in 3 different free public schools, I would ask that it's equal in the amount that you give them. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Now I have 3 maybes. Mark, Chris, and Bailey. Do any of you want to speak? Leslie, Ms. Whitmire yielded her time to you.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman, members of the committee, for hearing us today. I'm Leslie Malden. I live in Meridian, and I am a parent of 2 children that attend Liberty Charter School. On the board of Victory Charter School, have been a founding member of Liberty and Legacy Charter Schools, and also serve on the board of the Coalition of Idaho Charter School Families. Idaho's charter law has been improving steadily over the years since the first legislation was approved way back in 1998. It's time to make more comprehensive legislative changes to bring more choice to Idahoans and to provide more support for the currently operating virtual and charter schools. I'll focus my thoughts today on 3 of these areas needed for change. Obviously, making less of equity and funding on certain levels and more of additional authorizers, since so much has been given to funding today. But we need to provide additional authorizers for charter schools, more equitable funding for per student charter funding for online students, as well as more equitable building and maintenance financing for our currently open to charter schools. And compared to the early days of school choice and legislation, we have so much information available to us now. We have 15 years of experience here in the state of Idaho and much more comprehensively compared collection of national data to draw upon. The Albertson Foundation also recently provided a study that was statistically compelling in its advocacy for adding more charter authorizers and providing more equitable building and maintenance finance. By looking at what factors most influence supportive and successful choice in education legislation nationwide, including the recent model charter law as put forth by the National Alliance for Public Charter Schools, we've been provided with active data about what works in school choice legislation. It's such an advantage to have it available. And for those of you, I include myself, who've been here for the long haul, this is a huge advantage. This wealth of information is so helpful. Currently here in the state of Idaho, there are thousands of students still on charter waiting lists. Providing for additional authorizers, such as colleges, universities, and approved nonprofits, could help to alleviate some of the long waits now being experienced by so many. And I'd also like to point out from a different aspect of the funding issue. Parents and educators who have a great innovative idea for a school of choice will not become discouraged from developing these ideas simply when faced by the lack of funding that threatens to overshadow the possibilities. Equitable funding and additional authorizers will open the door to more innovation and choice for more students, parents, and educators. And it's time to take the next legislative steps to support and provide these measures for Idahoans. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Malden. Is it Mark?
Hello, my name is Bailey Sheave, and I am here because I would like to address the matter that we do not receive as much funding as the public schools. I attend Sage International School, and I did not feel that public school was a positive learning environment or as academically challenging as I would have liked. And
Just get a chair.
I feel that people should not be forced to attend a school just because it may be in their district. They should be able to go to a place where they feel happy. And I would also like to see our school receive funding equal to that of which children at public schools get, so that we can accommodate more programs and make our school a better overall experience. I ask you, why should my education be worth less? And I may be reiterating the same points as others have made before me, but I would like to make it clear that it is not fair and this matter needs to be addressed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ronald Linsenman.
I was the other Sheave.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Let my daughter.
She's on deck, though. Ronald Lee's on deck.
Okay. Good morning. I appreciate the privilege and the right to speak in this forum. This is a great situation for everybody here to discuss this. I have a son and a daughter. My daughter just spoke here, both attending Sage, and I'd like to make this quick. Traditional Idaho public education follows a monolithic policy of what and how to teach. We know the strength of this country lies in the variety of choices that we're allowed to make in all aspects of our life. We also know that government isn't always the best at making or picking winners and losers in this situation, and public choice or public school choice is one of those situations. School choice is about bringing an element of competition into the public education forum. The value of my tax dollars took a big hit when my kids started Sage. I understand there is an existing infrastructure of schools, administration to support, and I am realistic that we're not going to get 100% of what kids out of the public school probably will get. But 35% hit is extreme, and to me it kind of speaks to a bloated administrative system if that is what the cut is to kids going to public charter schools. Thank you.
Thank you. There's a Bruce Blosh that didn't indicate whether they wanted to testify or not. And also a maybe from Peggy Killen. And Wanda Furman with no indication. Welcome to the committee, Ms. Lynn Swann.
Chairman, committee members, I hate to be such an old war horse, but I want to take you back to 1993. The Annenberg Education Funds, $500 million to public schools to be the ultimate answer in how to reform education and make it a good quality product for all of the failing schools around our country at that time. We've been arguing this, it feels like, since prehistoric time. And I want to let you know that that money cured nothing. And just as a little bit of trivia, Barack Obama and Bill Ayers administered the $50 million that went to the Chicago school system at that time. Charter schools, as we had the discussion years ago, were to be the incubators of good practices. And then the public school was to adopt those good practices. We didn't have to have a million different charter schools to reform education. We have plenty of schools. Reform what's going on in those regular schools. And we have all the incubators, and we should have all the answers. We have reformed the reform of the reform of the reform until it has created, we have lost track of the real issue, of the academics, of the child at the desk with the onboard computer that is to be honed for their use for the rest of their lives. Then they can take off on any tangent. They can create any future for themselves they want, but they have to have the foundation. That's what our public school is for. We are not to be the refined frills and curtains and the joys of their entire life. The public school is simply there to hone the mind, to get them into what they want to do with the rest of their lives. The reforms are simply, as far as the Common Core curriculum, the Goals 2000, No Child Left Behind, Race to the Top, all of those are doing nothing but bringing more federal control into our state and into our local school boards. Our local school boards are going to be totally ineffective here any day now if they aren't already. And just one little thing, as far as the cursive writing, what is more personalized to a pupil than being able to train themselves to follow the line and to go halfway up for a lowercase, all the way up for a higher case? It's personalized to them. It used to be you were embarrassed to make an X for your signature. Now it seems we want to make some obscure, ugly, disgusting, some kind of graphic on a page, and nobody knows who you are because they cannot read your name. What has happened to our self-identity? Your penmanship is your self-identity. It's brain writing, not handwriting, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Lynn Swann. Representative Bateman, she probably needs $1 too for the advertisement. I saw no one else coming down, so I think next up is Mike Lanza, followed by Gary Smith, Leanne Simmons, and somebody Brewster. Mr. Lanza, welcome to the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee members. My name is Mike Lanza. I'm a Boise parent of 2 elementary school kids who are not at Sage International, although friends of mine have kids at Sage, and I know it's a wonderful school, and they love it. I'm the co-founder of the group Idaho Parents and Teachers Together, and I chaired the Vote No campaign. I am now sitting on the Governor's Task Force on Education with you two, Mr. Chairman. As you both know, this task force is comprised of many very smart and accomplished educators and others. In just 2 meetings so far, we have had very good ideas that could truly bring improvements to Idaho's public schools. I know you would agree that by bringing together many knowledgeable stakeholders in education, this task force has a great opportunity, and it demonstrates respect for the mandate we heard from voters when they repealed the Luna laws last November. Voters objected most vehemently to the process followed in writing and passing those laws because educators and other stakeholders were not involved. I come today to urge these committees and this legislature to heed Governor Otter's request when he formed this task force. The governor urged this legislature to not take actions that will affect public schools in this session, and instead to give this task force time to do its work. I am concerned about these bills introduced by the Idaho School Boards Association that would resurrect many of the elements of the law that 57% of Idahoans rejected through Proposition 1. Laws that we need reforms that are based on data showing us what actually improves student achievement. Laws that demoralize teachers will not get us where we need to be. We all agree that the loudest message from voters last November was that they objected to the process followed in passing these laws. The public was ignored then, including the thousands who testified against those laws before these committees and wrote to legislators urging the rejection of those laws. I am already hearing from many in the public who are skeptical about the prospects of this task force setting aside political agendas and achieving real progress for our schools. I tell them that I believe we actually have a great opportunity here. But we have to recognize that if this legislature fails to listen to the public, if this legislature again passes laws that voters have already told us they do not support, you will jeopardize the public faith in this new process that we have only just begun, and the faith that this is a legitimate and driven by only a genuine interest in figuring out what's best for our students and ultimately our economy. Let's not turn down the same road that has proven so disastrous already. Please respect the will of Idaho voters. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lanza.